So here we have my 1997 Fiat Marea, produced in Italy from 1996 to 2002, and then the Brazilian and Turkish market brought it up to 2007. Its predecessor was the Fiat Tempra. The build quality on the Marea was a huge improvement to the Tempra, but I think it didn't do too well sale wise. A lot of people assumed that the smaller Fiat cars was more their expertise and weren't too keen on the larger Fiat cars. This would have been on par with the Ford Mondeos of the day and the Ford Escorts. I'll show you around inside now. So we've central lock, and this is an SX model. Central lock and a standard. 5 seats, 4-door saloon. So a lovely cockpit, as they say. 102, I think, brake horsepower. This is a 1.6 petrol. We would have had the 2-litre petrol option here as well. When new, the price was starting at £16,350, and of course there is the optional extras as well, so that would have increased the price. A standard, you would have gotten power assisted steering, electric front windows, central locking, body coloured bumpers. We would have had then a height adjustable steering wheel and lumbar support and height adjustable seat. This model must have been a few optional extras thrown in, because we do have an electric sunroof which works, and I'll show you that now in a bit. This car has 28,000 miles from new. So you might be able to see it there, 28,066 miles from new. We have a rev counter, speedo in miles an hour and kilometers an hour, and then you have your temperature gauge beside it. And then you have your potential and general dash lights then on the front. We have headlight adjusting here on the front, and then you have your dimmer switch for the dash lights as well. I'll just start it up then and show you around. So on our left hand stalk we have indicators, lights, and your dip beams. So I have parking lights, dip beams, little icon shows up down there, and then I have my headlights here, and then an icon will show there. Flash. Indicators then. On the right hand stalk I have wiper controls, and I also have, which is very nice for 97, on my intermittent speed I have control on how often I want it to wipe as well, which, if you can remember, on the Fiat Cinquecentos of the same era, it was literally just regular speed or very fast. There was no intermittent. So I'll just put a wee bit of water. There we go. Center console then, we have our main radio, original radio. So it's a cassette radio. With the Fiats of this era, even on the early 2000s, you have to turn the radio on and off manually. So I'm going to do that now. I have also then tape player. So that's the main radio now at the moment. If you can look back at the steering wheel, I do have radio controls, which again, very fancy for 97.
Have you got your potatoes peeled? You should have, like, if you haven't got them peeled.
So volume, mute, and then I have stations, and I can go from radio then back to cassette. So I'll turn that off there now, and I'll show you what controls I have then. So I have hazard warning lights here. I have fan controls then, so if temperature, this did not now have, this doesn't have AC. AC was an option, but this does not have AC. So if temperature, I have fan speed, and then I have direction. So I'll turn it on there now. And believe it or not, it's only been running a couple of minutes and that's already coming out nice and warm. Underneath then I have a cigarette lighter, which I shall check if it works. Then I have my ashtrays here. A couple of pockets then underneath. Down here I have a 5-speed gearbox then with reverse. So I'll go into the gears there now. First gear, second gear, third gear, fourth gear, fifth gear, and then reverse. Yeah, that's working. I have manual handbrake then. And then in between I have a armrest with a cubby hole as well inside. Glove box then with a pocket on top. Front electric windows, like I was saying, which work. And then we have manual adjusted wing mirrors on passenger and driver side. Above then we have lights, so I can turn them on each side, or I can leave an on door option, so they'll light up when the door opens, or I can turn both of them on. I have two options with the sunroof. I have fully open or tilt. So that's my tilt option. And then I'm going to swing it back fully open. Height adjustable seat. I have the adjusting seat here, and then I think there's lumbar support then. Is there? No, I don't actually see lumbar support on this. Down here I have option to open the boot, and then that's to open the fuel cap as well. So driver seat is in the position that I am comfortable in, so I'll show you what the back space then is like. So 3 seat belts in the back. We do have rear headrests and a rear center armrest then as well. So yes, knees are touching the seat. I do have a good bit of foot room underneath. Nothing is grabbing me. Huge amount of headroom. When I go back, I'm not hitting off the roof. I do have handrails and manual windows back here. We do have option for direction of fan then as well here, and then an ashtray. So I'm going to move now into the middle. There is the wee bit of a lip there, so it probably won't be too comfortable. Yeah, so very uncomfortable in the middle. No leg room whatsoever, and my head is touching off the off the ceiling as well. So huge amount of boot space. massive boot. Underneath then we have our Space Saver spare tyre. Options for the boot, I have option to open by key or the release on the just below the driver's door there. To get into the bonnet then, there is a release under here. I also do have a height adjustable steering wheel, but there's no reach. So very low mileage car. Runs very smooth. So this is a 1.6, 16 valve. Everything is very accessible. Check your oil level here, 1, 2, 3, 4 spark plugs, then your leads. To fill up the oil, lift this. You have your windscreen washer fluid there, brake fluid, power steering fluid. Everything is very accessible, as you can see. Fill up your coolant then there if you need to. Sorry, it's quite difficult to open and release that with one hand. Really nice car. I picked it up there now a couple of months ago. It's going in for the NCT now in 2 days, so hopefully it'll pass with no problems. It was a one owner car for 24 years of its life, and it's 26, no apologies, for 20, almost 25 years old. One owner car. Someone bought it there in June, then took it as a trade-in, and then I bought it off them, so June 24. So the same owner from 97 until June 24. There is a few scratches on the side and a few wee bits kind of peeling off here, but mechanically it runs great. It's something you'd never see here on Irish roads. And if you are thinking the front end looks quite similar to the Bravo or the Brava, you would be correct. After the Marea then ceased production in 2002, the Fiat Stilo would have been released, and there was the Fiat Marea Weekend then, which was the estate version. So this is the 4-door saloon, or you have the 5-door estate. Then we had the Fiat Stilo, I think multi-wagon it was called. Really nice car to drive. It is currently €514 to tax it for the year. In just over 2 years' time though, it'll be eligible for vintage tax, which will make it €56 then for the year. So a really nice car. I hope you like it. Back in the late 90s and early 2000s, this would have been a car that was used by An Garda Síochána as well, which is the Irish police force. So a few of you might remember being chased by these or being stopped at checkpoints. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you have any questions, let us know.